Today we're jumping out of planes in GTA 5 until we can land a perfect cannonball into Michael's pool. It may sound easy, but that's a pretty small target from all the way up here. Here are the rules to this challenge. No parachutes, which means we have literally zero control while we're falling through the air. Just like classic World War II bomber pilots, this challenge is going to be all about lining up on the target and trying to time our release. The other rule just sort of happened, and that was that I wasn't allowed to eat or go outside and enjoy a beautiful fall Saturday in New York City until I successfully completed this challenge. So no pumpkin spice Dubai chocolate Labubu matcha lattes with the girlies at Pilates until Michael hits the pool. Which, yes, that is my typical routine. It's actually mandatory if you live in Brooklyn. I did see a guy try to order a black coffee at a cafe one time, but the vegan girl twink barista just shot him in the head. If I'm being honest, I approached this first run with a lot of arrogance, flying all the way to the top of the map, and in my head I thought I might even nail it on the first try and have to go back to the drawing board to come up with a harder challenge. But this was before I realized you can't even guide your character at all without a parachute. I thought I'd be able to steer him in towards the pool at least a little, you know, Tom Cruise style. But Michael is not Tom Cruise. All he does when airborne is scream, and I realized this was going to be a lot harder than I thought. After a few tries, maybe an hour into recording, I figured, okay, fine, I'll go get a parachute. I'll psych myself up with the much easier goal of steering into the pool and then work my way up to the cannonball landing. So I went and got a parachute, tried it out, and found that it only stayed on my character until he died. That was not gonna work here. Like my girlfriend often says, life cannot be cheated. So I gave up on the parachute and went back to my grind. Oops, just stumbled across another day in America. I thought maybe a helicopter would be easier. I could sort of hover into the perfect position right above the pool and then fall straight down. But this also proved to be really hard, and since the helicopter wasn't always at the airport, it was kind of throwing off my mojo to keep switching. On attempt like 32, I randomly saw this plane, which last month I had spent about an hour trying to land a plane on another plane for a previous challenge, which I failed and didn't make a video of because usually the large passenger jets are too fast to catch up with. But this one just happened to be in the perfect position for me to swoop down on it, and I think I finally answered my question. No, you can't land a plane on another plane in this game. The next time I took the helicopter, this pilot tried to stop me, which created a terrible vendetta that echoed down through generations of his bloodline, where I took revenge on his children, and his children's children, and his children's children's children. Hope it was worth it, buddy. Also, I am a real person, so if you're enjoying this video, maybe like or subscribe to the channel so I can have a little dopamine by watching the number go up. Ooh. For a while, like an idiot, I started aiming at the wrong house, thinking it was the pool alongside this tall building I was using as a reference and not in front of it. I think I wasted about 45 minutes doing that, and when I realized, well, I was pretty upset with myself. Because here's the thing, I'm only showing you the moments I jumped out of the aircraft. I'm not showing you that in between every attempt I had to respawn, call a cab, steal that cab, steal a plane, and fly across the map to Michael's house. So each one of these attempts took like 3 to 5 minutes depending on my level of focus and how bored I was, or if I felt like crashing into the police chopper that kept harassing me. A few times I failed to even get off the ground. No excuses on these, but think about my mental state at this point. I had been replaying this same loop for nearly 4 hours, my landings weren't really getting any more consistent, and at this point I had skipped breakfast and lunch, and I wasn't convinced I was ever going to really hit it. I tried switching to a dive bombing strategy, but I kept getting clipped by the wing of the jet, so I tried switching to the prop plane where you exit behind the wing, but I can't really say that worked any better. There were so many times I thought maybe I finally had it. Everything looked good, but nope. Not even really that close. Also, look at this sicko shooting at me as I'm falling. Do you have any idea the kind of bloodlust required to see somebody jump to their death out of a plane and say, no way, I'm getting that kill? Around this point, aiming at the right building and starting to lock in my drop points with the mini-map, I started to have hope because I really was getting a consistent grouping around Michael's house. I hit the roof, I hit this other pool I had kind of started wanting to hit as a consolation prize, I hit the tennis court finally. I could feel my moment coming. Then this big plane just came out of nowhere and spanked me, and I felt so frustrated I just had to sit there for 10 minutes and not do anything. This time, I thought the sunset was pretty enough to record it, and that must be a good sign, but I still missed. And then finally, at the time, I would have guessed it was my 60th attempt, but going back now and counting the footage, it was actually my 91st try. I finally gave up. Just kidding, I nailed it. I never want to leave you hanging like that on this channel. This challenge was only ending two ways. Me landing in the pool, or my girlfriend coming home from her work trip to find me sitting like a Goonies skeleton in front of my computer. I couldn't believe it. I hit the shallow end and right against the edge. Not the perfect cannonball splash that I was hoping for, but at this point I had to take it. Michael was looking like he couldn't really handle anymore, and neither could I, honestly. The sun was starting to set in real life, but I had just enough time to go to the Sonic by my house to get a 1,000-calorie large banana milkshake and drink it in the park. That was pretty sweet. Then it was time to come home, sit back down in the same exact chair in front of my computer and start editing this video. Leave me a comment below and let me know what games or challenges you want to see next time, or if you think I should never do this again.